Important notes. The following notes refer to KNX IP Secure products in both secure and unsecured mode. 1. Programming interfaces. Interfaces with long frame operation are required for downloading IP Secure products. The IP Secure products have this option. Thus, one of these products can be used immediately during commissioning, even if it is still in the ex-factory configuration state. All IP Secure products are also self-programmable. If you want to use other interfaces, for example USB, please ask for their APDU length. It must be at least 55. You'll find this piece of information, by the way, also in the bus communication dialog as property of the current interface. 2. Project interfaces. It is possible to define one of the KNX IP devices with local interface tunnels on a TP line as the line's project interface. This makes it possible to download each KNX device via the assigned IP interface tunnel that is closest to this bus device in the topology. That means normally installed on the same line as this KNX device. 3. Parallel download. If you only have non-plugin devices to download, they can also be securely downloaded in parallel through the previously mentioned project interfaces. The parallel download of devices that need a plugin does not work because ETS can only download one device of that type at a time. When using the secure IP interface for the first time during an ETS work session, its configured password must be entered at least once. This is good only as long as ETS is not shut down. After a restart of ETS, the procedure must be executed again. 4. Multicast routing. Multicast routing must be enabled in the local network. The network infrastructure used, routers and switches, must forward the multicast address used, standard 224.0.23.12. For layer 3 switches, this multicast address may have to be enabled individually for each port. 5. Operation as world or system coupler. When used as a world coupler or system coupler, physical address 0.0.0, there are 3 things to consider. 1. Secure communication as a system coupler is not possible. 2. With full expansion of the KNX network, it may no longer be possible to reach all LAN segments, since the routing counter is maximum 6. 3. Communication between world couplers also takes place via routing. If remote properties are connected via routing, it must be ensured that their communication runs via a permanently open VPN tunnel that can transmit multicast communication. If more than 2 properties are to be connected via the internet using routing, a separate VPN tunnel must be set up for each bilateral connection. 6. Which multicast address should be used? For security reasons, the reserved KNX multicast address 224.0.23.12 should generally not be used for group communication via IP routers, even if the ETS proposes this as the default multicast address. 7. Minimum data transmission rate 10 megabit per second. The KNX IP Secure products can be used together with 10 or 100 megabit switches or routers. If switches or routers also support 1000 megabit per second, they must be able to automatically adapt to the maximum possible 100 megabit per second of the IP Secure products. 8. Using dummy applications. So-called dummy applications are often used to support the automatic calculation of the filler tables by ETS with an existing visualization. There are media-specific dummy applications, for example, for IP. In this case, it may happen that solely because of this, the KNX IP Secure routing is not possible, because ETS can recognize such dummy applications as non-secure, although they do not represent active devices. So, you have to make sure that you either use a secure IP dummy or a virtual parallel KNX line with a TP dummy. 9. Replacing an IP router secure. If an authorized exchange replacement of a defective device occurs, only the exchange device must be commissioned. Only if an KNX IP router secure is replaced without authorization because it had been stolen, all KNX IP routers secure in the KNX installation must be commissioned again. In such cases, for security reasons, ETS must always generate completely new keys for all KNX IP routers secure. For all KNX IP routers secure commissioning must first be deactivated and then reactivated again. The new keys must then be downloaded to the individual devices. 10. Mixed operation of old and new IP routers. Mixed operation of the IP routers N14602 and IP router secure N14603 is only possible if the IP routers secure are configured non-secure. Safe commissioning equals deactivated, since the older generation cannot be updated. It is recommended to generally replace IP routers N14601 by new devices. 11. Establishing remote access via port forwarding. In order to enable remote access to an IP interface, the IP address must be guaranteed in addition to the accessibility of the device, and two separate port forwarding tunnels for UDP and TCP must be created, which are set to the same port number. Port 3671 is reserved as the default port for all KNX IP devices. Masking is still possible. External port number is different from the internal port number, if the DSL router supports it. Forgotten project password. If the ETS user does not remember the ETS project password anymore, the project must be completely recreated. All KNX IP secure devices must be recommissioned. 13. Factory default setup key is lost. The FDSK is only required for the initial commissioning or after resetting the KNX IP secure devices to their factory settings. If this key is no longer present on the device or can no longer be assigned with the device, the KNX IP device can no longer be commissioned and must be replaced. 14. List of device certificates. This list can be found in the Project Properties under the Security tab. You can see which device has already been used and programmed in the project. 15. Report Project Security. This report lists all device keys and authentication keys. The backbone key created for multicast operation is also in the list. This key is important for diagnostic and analysis tools such as Wireshark. 16. IP Diagnostics. In ETS, there are bus and group monitors. This means that communication via the IP network can only be monitored to a limited extent. However, since the interfaces used for IP routing and IP tunneling only allow telegrams suitable for twisted pairs to pass through. If the IP datagrams have to be recorded for some reason, there is only one tool left: Wireshark. This tool is free because it is maintained by university development teams, and highly innovative because updates are published at regular short intervals. There is also a very detailed driver for KNX, which doesn't have to be installed separately anymore. In the current version 3.0 or higher, it is also possible to read encrypted KNX routing communication on IP level. For this purpose, Wireshark has a memory for up to 10 backbone keys of KNX IP Secure projects. The decryption of secure tunneling communication, however, is not possible, as ETS will always create temporary, inaccessible keys at runtime, which will be removed after closing the tunnel. We are now at the end of the web-based training for Siemens KNX IP Secure. Thank you very much for your interest and for watching. We now wish you much success in using our KNXNet IP Secure products. Changes, updates and extensions of this training are possible at any time. Therefore, always stay tuned.